Boxing Truth here, back with another video. Make sure to smash that like button, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Alright, let's talk a little boxing. Let's talk about Devin Haney. What was his biggest fight to date against a worthy contender, former champion, 3 division champion, one of the bigger names in the lightweight division, Jorge Linares. It was an interesting fight between the two. You got a chance to see how Haney would do against an athletic opponent that could box, that could punch, that has experience. And Haney did show some good things in this fight overall. He showed a little different dimensions. He had a good first half in this fight. I don't think he completely dominated Linares. I thought he lost maybe a round or two of the first 9 rounds, which made it very close. A close fight because of the late rally Linares had. Now, coming away from this fight, Haney proved that he is a top lightweight in the division, that he's really a top contender, deserves a shot at the title, especially coming off this tight win against Linares. But is he Floyd Mayweather? No. I mean, can we stop the comparisons? Yes, I believe you can. Honestly, I think Haney's not a bad fighter. Do I see a next Floyd type? You know, pound for pound, moving up divisions, becoming the money man. I don't see that in Haney's future. I think he's a lot different in terms of Floyd. I think he's already like at the second part of Floyd's career where he really couldn't really hurt fighters in the welterweight division. Haney's already at that stage in the lightweight division. He's not a big puncher. You don't need power in this game, but it does help, especially at the elite level. I don't think he's that great defensively. I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's that great. Linares showed that. You don't have the greatest chin if you touch him. It's not easy to touch him, though. But I've seen a lot of Haney's fights, and the difference between Floyd and Haney is that I haven't been blown away in his earlier fights. I mean, I was blown away a few times when Floyd fought at 130, 135. I thought he looked excellent against Philip Endo. That was a virtuoso performance. Yeah, it was a cherry-picked opponent, but at least he looked good. You know what I'm saying? He looked tremendous against Diego Corrales, Toro Gotti. He's even in his earlier days when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Floyd showed he was a more complete fighter than Haney. He was much stronger in those divisions compared to Haney. I'm not saying Haney's weak, but I think Floyd was a better offensive fighter. I think he was a better defensive fighter. I think he was a better fighter, better puncher. To me, he was more meaner in these divisions compared to Haney, who has been campaigning at lightweight, but he hasn't really shown great physicalities thus far, or great power, or great fighting instinct ability. He's shown great movement, shown great speed. He's put me to sleep at times. And he's definitely no Floyd Mayweather. He's just a different version of himself. He has some similarities in terms of movement, in terms of speed, but like Linares says, that's all he really has. He doesn't really have anything else besides getting away from you. He's not a great offensive fighter or a great defensive fighter either. He's a great mover, great speed, can frustrate you with his movement. But after this performance, I'm pretty sure people in the lightweight division are licking their chops. They see chinks in the armor. They don't see much of a threat. Certainly Ryan Garcia doesn't see much of a threat. I like that fight for Garcia. I think he has a much better chance compared to Linares. I think he's a bigger puncher. I think he's physically stronger than Linares. It's a great fight for Haney. I mean, it's a great fight for Ryan Garcia to challenge Haney. Whether that fight's going to happen, it's really there's really no. We have to wait and see. They had an opportunity to take that fight. They chose to go a different route, or they definitely chose to go a different route, and Garcia is taking some time out. Teofimo, I definitely sure he saw weakness in that fight. I mean, people giving shit to Teofimo, saying he's not undisputed. Man, let's be real, he is undisputed. I mean, Haney got a paper belt. He beat nobody before it. It's not his fault, but Lomachenko never lost that belt in the ring. He was upgraded to whatever you want to call it, franchise, super, but that he was given a better, more prestigious belt. And Haney got a regular title, so that's what he is. He's no different than Mario Barrios, really, or any other regular champion out there. He has to beat the man to become the man, and really there's no dispute here. I mean, Haney's the #1 contender. That's pretty much all you could bestly put it. And whether the Teofimo Haney fight happens, it really has to do with the status of Teofimo. Is he still a top ranked fighter? Is he really going to continue this venture with Triller, who just lost their biggest star in Jake Paul? Triller seems to be like a sinking ship, and now Oscar's maybe having doubts of taking his whole stable away from the zone and signing with a new startup company who just lost one of their biggest names. So there's definitely questions surrounding Teofimo after he dispatches George Kambosos. But like Eddie Hearn said, he'll offer a shitload of money to Teofimo. It's really up to them. I mean, Top Rank ain't gonna give him that type of purse no matter who he fights, even a Lomachenko rematch. I don't think they have many attractive options for him. He won't even make the same money if he was to fight Josh Taylor, which could be a much more significant fight in terms of legacy. But if he wants the cash, he wants the paper, Devin Haney is where it's at, as Eddie Hearn is willing to offer a significant load of money for Teofimo to take. And you know what? They have to consider it. It really depends on the situation with Teofimo and his contract situation with Top Rank, whether he can fight on another platform, whether he's going to venture out, whether he's going to buy his contract out with Top Rank. A lot of questions remains to be seen. But Devin Haney is on his platform. He's got Eddie behind him, and he's got the zone bags that could determine what big fights he could make. I really don't know, man. I really hope Teofimo takes the fight. I think he dispatches Haney rather comfortably. Don't see him as being a major threat to him. I mean, if Linares can touch him, hurt him, Teofimo is stronger, much tougher, I would say a bigger puncher. He's definitely stronger than Linares. Linares is a good puncher, but past his best, 35, been knocked out 5 times. But he still put in a great effort. And honestly, it was a close fight, man. It could have been a draw. I don't think Linares was thoroughly dominated those first 9 rounds. I think that was overstated. Haney did show his best work in the first half of the fight, but I don't think he won every freaking round. Might have lost 2 rounds in those first 9 rounds, maybe 3. Honestly, this fight was very, very, very close. Could have been a draw. And if it wasn't based on points, you might have said that Linares got the better of Haney. He did better damage. He had him hurt. Linares was never hurt in the fight. But it is based off 12 rounds. But I saw a very close fight between the two. Very, very little separation. But Haney had a better start in the first half. And Linares closed the gap very strongly and had Haney in big trouble in those last. I mean, all Linares had to do was land a couple more big punches. Maybe would have gotten Haney to drop, maybe even stopped. I mean, Haney was a couple of punches away from getting stopped. But he showed the survivor instinct and a referee who allowed the holding. But he's definitely no Floyd Mayweather, man. He's Devin Haney, and I don't see a great career trajectory in his future. I don't see him being Tiafimo. I don't see him being Ryan if they were to have a fight. I'm not even sure if he beats Tank Davis. So who is Devin Haney? What is his identity in that ring? Because he's definitely not a Floyd Mayweather. Good tools in the ring, but maybe just not great enough to beat the elite to the lightweight division. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Devin Haney is definitely no Floyd Mayweather. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.